it's Eddie at Wheelie Tropicals. Welcome back if you're a subscriber. If you're new to the channel, I'll give you a quick brief update before I run into the video. My name's Eddie. I run Wheelie Tropicals, which is a plant sales business in Birmingham. We do plant stalls at Herbert's Yard and various other places, and you can also come and view the garden as well as buy some of the stock that I've got behind me. We run 2 greenhouses full of stuff, and we've got 2 propagators full of seeds, so I'm growing some rare stock in there as well. Today's video is all going to be about kind of what got me into the gardening in the first place, which was watching those YouTube videos that had like top 5 things for winter interest, top 5 tropical plants, easy key, and all that kind of jazz. So what I picked for you today is the top 5 of the plants that if I was starting my garden again, the plants that I don't think that I would do without. They're the first things that I would go and spend my money on. There's a kind of varying degree of like costs with them, because the Trachycarpus that I bought, they're not cheap, you know. They were like £300 each and stuff like that, but they were instant impact. You can, of course, buy smaller versions. And then there's other plants that I've kind of included within this kind of list as well, that you can pick up quite readily for between £10 and £30. And they will size up in the same season that they're kind of planted as well. So it kind of depends on your budget, whether you want everything to be tools down, the garden looks amazing, or whether you want to do like what I do, is go back through my photos from the last couple of years and kind of see the difference and the height and the size and things that people have got. What I'll do, without further ado, I'll run through the top 5 of the best winter interest plants for a tropical style garden. So first plant on the list is the Fatsia Japonica. Look how glossy and gorgeous those leaves are. Absolutely perfectly tropical. Grows like anything as well. I bought that plant for about £5 or £10 only a couple of years ago, and it's absolutely monstrous. You can almost see it growing. Loves a shady area, loves a bit of part sun. I have got one in full sun, it's just not as big as this one. They cope with the worst of anything that the UK winter can throw at it. The leaves will shrivel up and look a bit moody while the actual snow and ice is on them, but within a couple of days like this one, we've not long had snow. Yes, there is some brown tips on there, but the leaves in the most part look absolutely fantastic. A must for any UK tropical style garden. The very next addition is by far my favourite of all the palm trees, which is the Trachycarpus Fortunei. This thing is absolutely bone hardy. Will take ridiculous temperatures, -10, -15, for periods of time. We've had, as in when we had the beast from the east in Birmingham, that was absolutely ridiculous, froze the garden for weeks on end and had no problems whatsoever. Yes, obviously there's some yellow tipping, as you can see on there, but as the newer fronds pop out the top, the older ones die back anyway, so that is absolutely tip-top form, and it's really difficult to beat the look of that in anyone's garden. Third up is the Phormium Tenax. This one's the variegated version on that, but the standard one is equally as striking. Again, very, very hardy. We've had no problems with ours, completely covered from head to toe in snow. Yes, it will get all flopped to the ground, but I tend to go out and knock as much of the snow off as I can get, but that's just optional. This thing's sized up so quickly, it takes probably about 4 or 5 times the amount of space that you think when you first pop it in the ground. As you can see, it's an absolute monster, and again, an absolute must-have, especially for the price. It's also a great plant for anybody that's not too keen on the maintenance side. It's very, very, almost maintenance-free, I would say, to be fair. You just literally just pull off the brown parts as and when they die back, and that is all that's required. And to be fair, you could probably get away with that, and it will compost itself. Next up, 4th on the list, is a new one to us from last year, which is Fatsia Polycarpa Green Fingers. This one towards the end of the season got absolutely battered by slugs, as you can see on there. None of that's winter damage, that's literally all just been eaten. It's in its first year, it's not very well established at all, so I'm reliably told as this sizes up, it should be able to fend for itself a little bit better than this. Pairs very nicely in like a shady kind of area, or kind of semi-shade, paired with like things like hostas and things like that, and ferns. But the leaf shape on this one is absolutely fantastic and looks truly tropical in anybody's garden. Again, as is outside in Birmingham all year round. Up last but definitely not least is Euphorbia cross Pasteurii John Phillips. which is a very, very hardy evergreen shrub. The form on this is absolutely outstanding. We planted our one, as you can see on the screen there. We planted that this year. It only had a couple of months before the snow and stuff hit it, and it's sized up about 3 or 4 times. This thing is an absolute monster. I'm advised it can grow around about 1 metre tall and about 2.5 metres wide. So this plant in the border now definitely needs to be moved to another spot. But this was just a temporary location for it. It's relatively maintenance free, which everybody loves, and it also has really striking, long lasting flowers, which are apparently honey kind of scented from spring and early summer. So you got something as well for the pollinators, so those that want to look after the bees. This is another absolute cracking example of that as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, as it's very, very difficult to choose 5 kind of tropical plants, but I thought these, if you kind of get as kind of starter plants, you definitely get that vibe straight away. But there's an absolute billion plants that I could have chosen. What top 5 plants would you have chose for a beginner tropical garden?